Welcome to the Hip Hop Circle. In this video, we're gonna list out 20 or so random facts about the Wu-Tang Clan. This is a new channel, so I'd really appreciate if you'd subscribe and you can support me on Patreon. Okay, let's jump straight into it. Allah Mathematics is the group's DJ and he's also a dope producer. He's the one who came up with the Wu-Tang logo. RZA went to him to ask for a design, so Allah Mathematics came up with a design whereby there was a fist holding a severed head with blood dripping down to the W, and RZA thought that's a little bit too much. So he did a couple renditions. The next rendition was of the Wu-Tang logo on a Bible with a sword, which you can see in the Protect Your Neck artwork. Eventually, all of that was scrapped and all that remained was the W, which is one of the most iconic symbols in music today. RZA used the Ensoniq ASR-10 sampling keyboard for most of his early work. That helped to give the music that gritty Wu-Tang sound that so many people fell in love with. The Saga Continues is the only Wu-Tang album that doesn't contain any production by RZA whatsoever. After A Better Tomorrow wrapped, RZA gave Mathematics his blessing to go ahead and start working on the next Wu-Tang album. So Mathematics reached out to Meth, Inspector Deck, and all the various members to get their contributions for the album. Another thing is that album doesn't contain any samples whatsoever. All the music is original. In order to get the signature gritty Wu-Tang sound, Mathematics took the music from his laptop, sent it into his ASR-10, and then sent it back into his laptop, and there you go. You get that character that's only unique to that keyboard. If it wasn't for good fortune, Method Man may have been a victim of a drive-by shooting, and the clan would not have been formed the way we know it. In Kanye West's breakout hit Through the Wire, he rapped, "If you could feel how my face felt, you would know how Mace felt. Thank God I ain't too cool for the safe belt." That line was not random. As you probably know, Kanye was involved in a car accident and broke his jaw and had to have his jaw wired up and whatnot. Mace had a run-in with an affiliate of the Wu-Tang Clan. He ended up dissing the Wu-Tang Clan or something like that at a concert, and one of Ghostface's entourage members didn't appreciate that. So when they met Mace in the club, fists flew and Mace's jaw got broken. On the same type of energy, Joe Budden got clocked by one of Raekwon's entourage members for saying things that they didn't really appreciate. I guess it's sort of proof that Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to F with. It's no hidden thing that RZA is now heavily involved in making and scoring films. One of his big breaks was on Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill, which has quite a bit of kung fu in it. I guess the Wu's love of kung fu really did push them further than they probably would have even guessed to begin with. The clan had a clothing label which was pretty popular in the 1990s called Wu Wear. Method Man didn't particularly like the clothes because he felt that they were not of good quality, so he never wore them. GZA is often seen as the crew's sage. He's cool, calm, and collected and all that, and he seems like a really smart guy, man. Anyway, he's the one who taught RZA how to rap, and then RZA taught ODB how to rap, and the three cousins formed a group called Force of the Imperial Master, which was later renamed to All In Together Now Crew, and that was the basis of what became the Wu-Tang Clan when the other members joined. Capadonna's first record with the Wu was on Ice Cream with Ray, Ghost, and Meth. At the time, he had lost his interest to pursue a career in rap. He visited RZA, heard the beat, and jokingly asked if he could spit some bars to it. RZA told him to write a 16. Cap didn't even know what a 16 was. He wrote the verse in about 15 minutes according to him. He recorded it, then Meth came in, wrote the hook in about 15 minutes or so, recorded it. A week later, RZA called Capadonna and told him the track would be released as a single, and the rest is history, I guess. Without that encounter, we may not have gotten what would later become Capadonna's most iconic verse. Winter Wars. The collaboration between ODB and Pras on the hit single Ghetto Superstar was a pure stroke of luck and coincidence. ODB walked into the wrong studio. He thought that he was in New York when he was actually in California. He heard the beat and loved it and asked Pras if he could jump on it. Pras was like, "Nah, you're not getting on my beat, son." ODB pushed and pushed. Eventually, he wrote his verse, jumped on the record, and Pras was like, "I'm gonna delete this." But to his surprise, it came out really hot, and that's how that track was born. It wasn't supposed to feature ODB. One of the Wu's most iconic songs is Cream. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, y'all. That phrase was actually coined by Method Man's homie, Raider Ruckus. Inspector Deck used to write graffiti under the name Deck. The inspector part was given to him because he was a very observant guy, quiet, and he did a stint in prison, which made him very observant and just aware of his surroundings all the time. I mean, this has been discussed before, like even in the 36 Chambers album. Meth mentioned something about Inspector Deck being the type of guy who would just be watching you as you play yourself and take you to court. The inspector part of his name was actually given to him by U-God, who noticed this behavior. Master Killer, who was the 9th member to join Wu-Tang Clan, was a friend of Jizza, and that's how he came into the fold. He was asked to play the guy who gets his head chopped off in the Protect Your Neck video. He refused. He was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna be the guy who gets his head chopped off, son." That's crazy. Anyway, the group pleaded and he refused. But then when Jizza went and asked him to do it, he's like, "Cool, I'm gonna do it on the strength of our friendship." And that particular occurrence helped to solidify sort of the bond the group was building. And Inspector Deck said he gained respect for Master Killer on that day. Inspector Deck's Triumph verse is one of the most famous verses in rap history. It's usually ranked like in the top 5, top 2 type of situation. It was not originally written for the Triumph record. Deck wrote and used that verse on a track which appeared on a Tony Touch mixtape called 50 MCs. When Deck heard RZA making the Triumph beat, he called Tony and asked him if it was cool for him to reuse the verse, and Tony Touch was like, "Go ahead, use it, brother," and that's how we got the Triumph verse. I've left a link to the original track that he used that verse on if you're interested in hearing it. According to Inspector Deck, the Protect Your Neck beat was originally supposed to be for his solo album on a track called Not Your Average Flow. Jizza's album Liquid Swords actually took 20 years for it to go platinum, which, when you think about it, is really amazing because a lot of music is hot for a week, a month, maybe a few months at most, and then it dies down. But then for people to be buying an album over a 20-year period, that's just, it's insane. It's a testament to how great the music is and how timeless it is. According to U-God, he and his mom were robbed by Mike Tyson when U-God was still a kid in Brooklyn. Inspector Deck gave himself the moniker of INS the Rebel because he's a fan of Chuck D. Chuck D is a part of Public Enemy, and one of their most famous songs is Rebel Without a Pause, the rhythm, the rebel without a pause. Deck took the rebel part because of his admiration for Chuck D, and that's how you get INS the Rebel. According to Easy Mo B, the demo for Shimmy Shimmy Ya by ODB was originally done at his house. The beat was later recreated and released as a single from ODB's debut album, Return to the 36 Chambers, the dirty version. RZA, Ghost, and Ray got kicked out of Barbados when they were working on Only Built for Cuban Links in 1995. They went there to work on the music. They wrote a number of tracks, including Rainy Days. Then, once they were kicked out, they moved their production to Miami, which, according to Ghostface, was still on Scarface time. So that provided a lot of inspiration for the material that was in Only Built for Cuban Links, which had a lot of mafioso, street thug, drug dealer type of music, which was prevalent in Miami. Alright, that's it for this video. I hope you learned some interesting things about the Wu-Tang Clan and its members. What other facts and trivia do you know? Put them in the comments so that, we can check them out. If you like the content, please like it, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And that's it. See you next time when we re-enter the hip hop circle.